Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Tonight we have the best type of insight, late night insight. And today we're going to talk about a little bit of a niche house, if you will. I hear rumors that this house is having some trouble, so I don't know if it's just rumors or if there's some truth to it or not. But this is from the Zoo, which is actually the personal perfume brand of Chrisophe Laudamiel. And today we're going to talk about a fragrance that kind of has two sides of the same coin. One is called Club Design, and the other one is called Scent Tattoo. And the reason it's two sides of the same coin is that Club Design is supposed to be a garment perfume. So if you guys remember, whenever I reviewed Arige Ladore's Cuir de Russie, there was a large amount of unfiltered birch. And it's recommended not to put birch that hasn't been treated. Maybe unfiltered is the wrong word, but birch that has not been treated properly on your skin. And so that fragrance is sold as a garment perfume, right? And Club Design is something somewhat similar. Club Design and Scent Tattoo have the same scent profile, but Club Design is supposed to be recommended only for clothes because of the larger quantities of safranol, I think, which is a saffron-like material, go figure, and coumarin, right? So it's considered only safe for garments. And then also, so what he did is he then released Scent Tattoo, which is meant for the actual skin, and those ingredients are lowered. So I'll read you the little bit of a blurb, but I have to tell you first, if I was a drinking man, I would take a drink before this review. If I was a smoker, I would have a smoke before this review. This is maybe in my whole journey, I could put this in maybe my top 5 most hated fragrances of all time. I'll tell you that right now, right off of the bat. And it's crazy because even hardcore frag heads disagree. If you look, there is a award that this fragrance won. Not just any award. This won the Art and Olfaction Awards for 2018. Now, granted, this is in the artisanal category, okay? But still, this is an Art and Olfaction Award. I recently reviewed a fragrance from Olympic Orchids called Woodcut, which actually won the exact same award in 2014, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think a couple years earlier, before Club Design / Scent Tattoo, if you will. So give me Woodcut any day of the week. And in fact, just to show you what an absolute mess I think Club Design and Scent Tattoo is, if this was tattooed on my hand, I'd want to cut my hand off. If it was on my arm, I'd take my arm off. It is literally one of the most disgusting fragrances I've ever smelled in my life, and that is with as much respect as possible to Chrisophe Laudamiel, because I really do respect his work. And the thing about it, and if you've been following my channel, you know that I am a skin tester. I test everything on skin because I've come to learn that testing on paper is a little bit of a fool's game in that things change, you know, from time to time when you test on paper versus skin. Some fragrances really come alive on your skin versus the paper. So usually I completely cut out putting it on paper and it goes on my skin. I have put this on my skin once before and I will never, ever do that again. That is a vow. This fragrance is not getting anywhere near my skin. In fact, when I sprayed it on the card, I went to the other room because I did not want it in this room. That's how much I absolutely despise this fragrance. And I wish I could put my finger on exactly what it is. Well, I'm going to try to put my finger on what it is that I despise. But, you know, the crazy part is I really think Chrisophe Laudamiel is a good perfumer. I love his work. I've reviewed multiple fragrances of his on the channel. And so I think what he did took balls to go against the grain. He came out, and if you're familiar with his work, he made a fragrance, one of my favorite ambers of all time, which will get a glowing review from me one of these days. It's called Amber Absolute from Tom Ford. Unbelievably discontinued because I think this is one of the best ambers that was out there, and especially when you consider the formula was something like $2. I think it was like $2 or $3, $2, $3, $4, somewhere around there. He actually posted it on the internet. He posted the entire formula and said, you know, this is a $2.34 formula, whatever it is. I'm just making that up. I don't know exactly what the number was, but it was cheap. It was definitely cheaper than $5. And he said that You know, this is what they're selling in $300 bottles, basically. And that took balls to go against the grain. So I respect him as a man. I respect him as a perfumer. I like some of his other work. I've reviewed things like, for example, if you've been following the channel, one of my earlier reviews for the same house is called Everlasting. I think Rachel very kindly sent me this look at their decants, too. This is their discovery set, I think, atomizers or whatever they send you. I mean, that looks like 4 or 5 mil, easy. You know, very generous samples, and I loved Everlasting. If you're someone who liked Tom Ford Sahara Noir or Amber Absolute, if you like that labdanum heavy style, I would definitely urge you to try Everlasting. I'm a big fan. If money was no issue, I would have a bottle of Everlasting. So you can go check out my review. Spoke glowingly about it, right? Really like his work for it's called Strangelove. And so for Strangelove, I've reviewed Meltmyheart on the channel. I like Meltmyheart. There are going to be other Strangelove reviews probably coming sometime this year. I'm a fan of the whole house. Everything from that house gets a thumbs up from me. I think it's a solid house outside of the ridiculous pricing. But take that out of the equation, and I think it's a really solid house. So you'll be hearing more about Strangelove, and those are all perfumed by Chrisophe Laudamiel. So I just say all of that to say that this sort of outlier is truly an outlier. I mean, I can't even like give you a proper breakdown of the way the scent changes, because I can't stand smelling it for long enough to be able to tell you this happens and then this happens. I don't want it anywhere near me. In fact, when this is over, this is going directly into the trash, because it does project pretty substantially. There are a lot of what I would call sci-fi futuristic type molecules in here. Very cold and sterile. And I've reviewed some futuristic fragrances on this channel. I've reviewed Ganymede, and while I wouldn't go out and buy a bottle, I didn't hate it. I didn't have this, vitriol-like reaction to Ganymede like I do Club Designer or Scent Tattoo, if you prefer. So let me read you the blurb. Maybe that'll try to explain what it's supposed to be, and then I'll tell you what I get. So here's what Club Design says. You are not in a club any longer, but still imbued by its emotions. Keep on carrying the feeling of being on a mission. The scent is soft leather, which I completely disagree with. There is absolutely nothing soft about this. This is just a blast of like a chemical formula. Just think of a science project with chemical, the periodic table, and it's that level of cold, scientific, very modernistic, sci-fi, futuristic smelling fragrance that I absolutely despise. Soft, my ass. There is nothing soft in this. And sexy musks join forces to recreate the special atmosphere of a sexy lounge. I mean, maybe if you're trying to like chloroform the girls in there, but that's the only thing about a lounge I can think of with this scent. Atlas cedar increases mystery. Molecular sandalwood. So God knows what type of sandalwood that is. And the smokiness from lilies and styrax. Smokiness from lilies. Accentuate sensuality. The leather note comes from a headspace analysis of new Spanish leather. Well, I will tell you that I love Spanish leather scents. In fact, if you're a Spanish leather lover, I will urge you to go check out Santa Maria Novella's Peau d'Espagne. This is a bottle that Dushan very kindly sent to me. Unfortunately, I think it was full when he sent it, and it leaked on the way, but still enough juice for me to appreciate. I also have a vial of the gold label version of this. Actually, that is very high on my list. If you said, Ramsey, you get to pick a free bottle, that would be one I'd have to give some serious consideration to. The gold label version of Peau d'Espagne, the vintage, is very high on my list, but this is very good as well. And if you're a leather lover, especially a Spanish leather lover, you really can't do much better than this. So when they say this is a Spanish leather, I'm like, where? I mean, my God, it's foul. It absolutely reeks. I think someone who hates amberwoods, like this would be a good one to give to Rich Mitch. Label it something different so he doesn't know what it is, and give this to him and just have it live on stream. I would love to see his reaction to this. This would be, I mean, he may pluck his feathers out with his own beak. It is terrible, absolutely horrendous. And so here's what they say. Spanish leather combined with natural leathery smell of mimosa extracts. Apparently mimosa has a leather side to it. A sliver of bright notes found in blackcurrant and grapefruit lights up the top of the fragrance. I don't even get a top and a heart and a mid. I just get this chemical blast, you know, like a ray gun in a video game or something. It's just like, you know, straight to the head. And here's what they say about Scent Tattoo. It says, "We love Scotland. The surprising acrobatic moves of those gorgeous kilts. Free spirits moving to the beat of a sensual dance. Soft leather and so-called masculine woods join forces to recreate the compelling atmosphere of a military performance." Well, maybe if you're trying to like capture the jet smell of a, you know, fighter jet up in the air or something, I could see like that level of chemical smell being in this. You're trying to bottle what comes out of the back of a jet, maybe. But even that, you know, I think there's better fragrances that do that clean fuel smell. There was one from, oh God, what was that brand? I reviewed it on the channel. They do like the dangerous flowers, like the deadly flowers. Oh man, that's gonna drive me insane. I can see it. I can see it in my head is what's killing me. I'll come back to that. Let me come back to that. But there's a brand I think that does that clean fuel better. So it says sexy musks with the fibery note of African cedar. I guess if you're not getting enough Metamucil. From the Atlas region, recreate the feeling of gorgeous tartan fabric. Molecular sandalwood and spiciness from lilies accentuate sensuality. Mimosa, a fluffy flower whose extract smells naturally of leather, blends the different elements together. A touch of bright, watery notes. There is something in here. And I was going to say it, and I think maybe I even wrote it and then scratched it out. But there is something in here that, look at my face. This is the face of Scent Tattoo. It's terrible. There is something in here that does give this strange aquatic, you know, like a metallic submarine. There's like this metallic submarine, right? So instead of we all live in a yellow submarine, imagine like metallic submarine in amber woods. If that sounds disgusting to you, the fragrance is even more disgusting than that. Let's put it that way. A touch of bright, watery notes found in blackcurrant and grapefruit lighten up the top of the fragrance like a mini dance on a strong, flowing, sensual background. Okay, enough of that bullshit. So, here's the thing. Like I said, I think I've made it clear that it's pretty damn foul. It's probably the first major miss, though, to be fair, from his work. You know, if you look at his other works, they're hits. And so, I can't tell you how it evolves because I don't even want to get my nose close to it. But the way that it's been described that I think are fair descriptions, new car smell, okay? But not just new car smell, like the interior of maybe a Geo Metro or something, you know, a cheap bottom of the line car, right? Where they're probably using plastics that they got directly from the Chernobyl plant. You know, there is something just absolutely, you know, like just imagine kind of a cheap dashboard, right? Like a cheap dashboard in a car. There is something to that. There's definitely this industrial. Just imagine being like in a factory where they produce that dashboard, not just the dashboard on the car, but maybe like the factory where they're pumping them out. So you get all of these chemical, very harsh. There's nothing soft. When I heard soft leather in here, I was like, what? Soft leather? Oh, it's just horrendous to me. It's absolutely horrid. And so I figured today I wore Memoir Man and gave it a Hall of Fame review. So I did something good. I figure I have to balance this off with something terrible. So I just I cannot stand this scent. And so, you know, what it reminds me of even more than the new car interior is if you've ever gone shopping and you've taken a bunch of clothes to like the dressing room, right? You have a bunch of them in your hand and you put them down and you're in this enclosed like changing area, right? And so you're in the changing room and you have a bunch of clothes and the room smells like it's just been filled with these new clothes, right? That haven't been washed. They're straight from the factory. And they have all of these different You know, you take your shirt off, which kind of smells like you, and you put one of the new shirts on that hasn't been washed, and you just get this sort of nylon, latex, polyester, cotton blend thing, right? But more so the xenon and all the other weird fucking things that go into some of these clothes, right? Just imagine some of the weirder things that you've seen in there, the latex and all that good stuff, right? That's kind of what it smells like. And it has this changing room store feel. This, it's fucking awful. It is horrendous, literally. I mean, when I put that on my skin for the first time, my head, from smelling it right now, my head hurts, but this is going in the trash when we're done. When I put that on my skin, testing it, because I'll usually test a scent a couple of times before I do a late night insight. I'll put it on before bed, you know, something like that, and then do it again a week or two later, or whenever I can get around to it. This case, it took me a month or two to finally have the balls to come back to this scent, because it is so, spraying it on this, I literally almost got cold feet, and I was like, I can't do it. I almost just chunked the sample. It's that bad. It's latex meets polyester meets changing room chemicals, you know. It's, and then to add to it, there's this weird metallic smell. I mentioned metallic sub earlier, but it's almost like you're smelling an old school mannequin, if you want to stick with the store analogy, right? You're in the store, and not a plastic mannequin, but like a metallic old school mannequin. And, you know, maybe... the best way, I think, to describe this scent is sterile and cold. There is something extremely just lifeless, you know, like a test tube baby, you know, like a just, you know, when you go to like a fast food restaurant and in the back there's like you can see the cooking equipment, right? And you can see kind of the stoves and the hood that sucks all the smell out and all that stuff, right? And everything is always like stainless steel. And they always try and keep it clean because they want you to give the impression of cleanliness. But, you know that the food going on there is suspect in the first place. There is this just fake, I mean, it's like this stainless steel coldness, but in a disgusting, futuristic, modern-like way. Like you're smelling the outer edge, like the outside of like one of those top secret planes that goes up into space, you know? And the material used on the outside of the plane is like some sort of a state secret or something, right? It's like you're smelling some sort of a man-made concoction that is just, I hate the way it makes my head feel. It literally makes my head feel like there's a polka band in it. And I think it's supposed to give off this clean, like they said, leather thing. I don't get any of that. I hardly get any. The actual note breakdown, if you're interested, is mimosa, sandalwood, blackcurrant, lily, musk, atlas cedar, and grapefruit. That gives you nothing of sort of what this scent smells like, if that gives you any idea. Absolutely nothing. And the fact that this won the Art and Olfaction Awards, to me, is shocking. Absolutely shocking that in 2018 this was the best, smelling thing that they came up with. My guess is that him and the guy that actually rates the scent that came up with who gets the award are friends or something. It's just, the other thing is, one other way to describe it, I think I've beat the scent up enough, but one other description is, if you've ever watched the show Dexter, you know how he kills people? He wraps them up in that, well, he doesn't kill them first, of course. He catches the bad guys, and then he wraps them up on the table, like in saran wraps them. Saran wraps their mouth shut kind of thing. Their whole body is just covered in saran wrap. The walls are covered in saran wrap so blood doesn't get on it, right? This is a serial killer fragrance. This is absolutely, it has that plasticky saran wrap. I think Dow Chemical came up with saran wrap right after World War II. It has that chemical, that plastic bag feel. Like if you've ever been to a warehouse where they blow bags, where they create like the bags that go into your kitchen and stuff like that, it's so fucking awful. It is literally one of the worst fragrances I've ever smelled. Top 5 easily. This and that Scent Story 24 fragrance that I despise. Rise of the Superb or some stupid thing. These two instantly come to mind as some of the worst things I've ever smelled. But the fact that this won an Art and Olfaction Award is what's shocking to me. And so that is, you know, that is, I mean, I wanted to do the video because this is going directly into the trash, this right here. And, you know, this is an absolute just head splitter right down the middle. I can't find any redeeming facets of this fragrance. Absolutely nothing. You know, if you want to go with this futuristic thing, go Ganymede or something like that, fine. Akigala Wood Biche wins. Take it. Wear Ganymede all day. Do not wear this. So, anyways, that's my take. I would love to see someone who likes this try and give me a reason, just one reason why you like this fragrance. Maybe you smell it different than I do, but fuck. Oh my God. I mean, the sheer horror. So anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. I know that this is supposed to be like a quirky, you know, avant-garde niche type of brand, but damn, give me Comme des Garçons any day over this, or give me Everlasting. I mean, I loved Everlasting. This is much more my speed. So that's my take. If you have experience with the club design / scent tattoo, do let me know. To whoever sent this to me, damn you. And I appreciate you watching as always. Hope to see some feedback in the comments. I know the negative reviews always are popular, so cheers guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.